Welcome back to another video of ASMcaR. The mic is on, and away we go. Today, we are going to be flipping through some of these pages of this book that I found at Half Price Books. I have a very limited amount of space in my apartment, but I love everything F1 and IndyCar, and so it becomes a problem for me to store all of these Legos and books. But sometimes when I'm feeling like I need just a little bit more dopamine, I'll stumble into Half Price Books to see if they have anything race related. And this book was I think it was $9.99, which it sits on my entry table. It's like a coffee table. It's more like a desk, but it's at my entry, and this is what is permanently there. And honestly, it's probably the best $10 I've spent, at least on racing merchandise. Now, if you're not familiar with Half Price Books, I'm not sponsored by them. They didn't ask me to do this video. I just, I wanted to explain it if you don't have Half Price Books in whatever country or region that you're watching this. So basically, it's just like kind of like a thrift store, but for books. So you can bring in your books or videos or any form of media that they accept, like records and CDs and tapes. And they'll give you a price to buy it from you, and then they resell it. So you really never know what they're going to have. I mean, you can look on their online database, but it's not like if you want a new release of Harry Potter, they're going to be guaranteed to have it, which I know that Harry Potter is not an active series anymore, but I'm just giving that example. But so this book was previously owned and used, and I was looking online because if you look at the side, it's like I don't know if it's real leather or if it's patent leather, but it's very nice. But I didn't know who the author was, and I see Sakura or Skyra. I apologize, I'm probably not going to say a lot of these names correctly, but I'm going through this for the first time with you, actually. I've skimmed through it, but I thought this would be fun to do together. So the book is titled F1 Heroes. F1 Heroes. And I actually went to a high school that started with an F, so my high school monogram was FHS, and it was red and white. Red, silver, white were our colors. So when I see this book sitting there, it kind of reminds me of my high school days. But all that to say, I looked this up online, and it is, the editor is Sakura or Skyra or however you pronounce it, and the author is Giorgio Terruzzi. Terruzzi. Again, I don't know how to pronounce that correctly, but there is a dust cover that when you buy this book, it comes with like a dust cover on it with a different photo. And I believe the photo is of Roman Grosjean when he went into the wall. And he basically came from like a very horrible accident. So it's like firefighters putting out this fire of this car. But that being said, this was, I think, published or printed in 2022. The official title is F1 Heroes, Champions and Legends in Photos of Motorsport Images. So it's 192 pages, printed in English, at least what I'm looking at on Amazon. And it's going for €30.89. So I don't know what that is in US dollars, but let's take a look. Also, if you're new to this channel, thank you for clicking on the video. I'm very new to ASMR creating it, but I love ASMR. And I also love race cars, specifically F1 and Indy cars, so open wheeled racing. Oh, look at that handsome man. I believe that is Ayrton Senna. What a great picture. So, F1 Heroes, Champions and Legends in the Photos of Motorsport Images, edited by, I'm not even going to try to say these names. And this is the Skyra editing publisher, I guess. So this is like a photo book. Here you have a introduction by the president and CEO of F1, Stefano. And then you have a statement by the president of Motorsport Network. Now, before we begin with this, I was saying that I started doing ASMR because I have all of this merchandise and just memorabilia of open-wheeled racing, whether that's IndyCar or F1. And I thought that, I fall asleep to ASMR with these kind of, old school triggers. And I thought, why don't we share this? There has to be other people out there that enjoy motorsport racing and ASMR like I do. So this channel is new. So if you have the opportunity to give it a like or even a comment, is more valuable to me to know what you are enjoying or not enjoying about this form of ASMR. It really helps me out because, like I said, I'm new to not only ASMR but YouTube and how it works and the algorithm and just all of the fancy things. But enough of that. Look at this baby Lewis Hamilton. Look at him. Oh my gosh. Wow. He looks like a kid. Because he was. So this possess the shining paint jobs, fleeting images that trigger unparalleled passion, surprising, baffling cars capable of going so fast that they cause a turmoil of emotions, of imagination. Extremely powerful mechanical horses, mechanics and electronics combine in such a staggering hyperbole that they become incomprehensible. The allure of Formula One is the key ingredient of an adventure that has lasted over 70 years and has never ceased to amaze and enthrall different generations, captivated by the power of a competition made of great endeavors and tragedies. There is a figure at the center of this scenario. There has always been, the driver, the champion. These are people capable of accomplishing extraordinary, magnificent, audacious feats. Wow, this is really, really cool. So we start 1950 to 1959. A winning formula. So you see this picture here is Monaco Grand Prix 1950. Juan Manuel Fangio, winner of the race on the podium with Prince Rainier. Again, I apologize for mispronouncing any names. I'm sure there are some huge Formula One fans that are, much more versed than I am. So I apologize if I'm mispronouncing drivers or anything. But yeah. Oh wow, look at this. So this photo is Silverstone, which is the British Grand Prix in 1950. Princess Margaret meets the drivers before the start. Princess Margaret is right there. That is wild to me. Some more pictures of the British Grand Prix. Look at these cars. Oh, you can't see it because of the glare. Look at that. These cars are so cool. They remind me of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. This photo here is Silverstone. It's British Grand Prix 1950. King George VI of the United Kingdom and Queen Elizabeth watching the start of the first World Championship race from a makeshift grandstand at Stowe Corner. Look at them. They are literally on a makeshift grandstand. King George VI is the one that replaced his brother when he abdicated the throne, the father of Queen Elizabeth, the grandfather of King Charles. Right? Yeah. This is the Queen Mom, the mother of Queen Elizabeth, the grandmother of King Charles. First Formula World Championship race. Look at these cars, that is so cool. This this is the French Grand Prix in 1951. We have Alfa Romeo, Ferrari. So two Alfa Romeos and a Ferrari. I don't know which one is the Ferrari. Ferrari number 12. So these are Alfa Romeo and then Ferrari. That's wild. Look at these stands. Look at these people. This is Silverstone in 1951. Look how close they get to the cars. I mean, granted, they're not going 200 miles an hour, but still. This was the Spanish Grand Prix in 1951. Juan Fangio. I'm going to look up how to say his name after this, because I'm going to probably get roasted, but he celebrates his winning Grand Prix in the World Drivers' Championship for the first time. Number 22. Just the history in this sport is really, really cool. I'm going to try to adjust this light a little bit so that it's not so glaring. Maybe I'll put this down here. I want you to see the pictures though, so let's see if we... So my desk light, this is my desk light. Yeah, I think that made that worse. I don't know. Hold on one second. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. So my desk light is like glitching, and I really hate it because I love my desk light, but I think I'm gonna have to get a new one. Anyway, okay, so this is Monza, the Italian Grand Prix in 1954. So we have a Mercedes and a Ferrari here. Look at the differences in the cars. Obviously, you see the iconic Mercedes. I'm assuming this is red. And if you look over here, this is 1955, so just a year later. This is Monaco. And we have a Mercedes and a Ferrari. So look how different these two chassis are. This is technically like, I mean, I'm sure it was still qualified as a Formula One car, but I mean, this is not an open wheel, so this would not be acceptable. Obviously, it would not be acceptable today, but this is a different chassis, whereas this is open wheeled. Same with the Ferrari. The Ferrari's red, iconically. Spa, Belgian Grand Prix, 1956. Oh, what happened here? So this is the Monaco Grand Prix, 1957. Juan Manuel Fangio passes abandoned Ferrari D50 cars of Mike Hawthorne, number 28, and Peter Collins, number 26. So it looks like they went into the wall, the barricade, which is right by the sea, which, you know, I don't know if there's any cars that actually have gone into the water, but Monaco is such a small, or I should say narrow circuit. This is a cool picture. This is Monza, the Italian Grand Prix in 1957. Oh wow, what is this? This is the German Grand Prix 1957. Tony Brooks, Ferrari 246. Leads Sterling Moss. Maston Gregory, Jack Brabham, Joe Bonnier, and Dan Gurney. Look how banked that track is. That car is like almost vertical. So that was the first section of F1 history. Now we go into the 1960s to 1969, the first revolution. The Monaco Grand Prix in 1960, Dan Gurney waves to a photographer. This is the Monza Italian GP in 1961. And then Spa, the Belgian Grand Prix in 1962. This is the view of the pits looking downhill. And you know what's interesting? You see these signs. The mechanics hold these pit boards to signal to the drivers what lap it looks like they're on, what position they're in. So this one says L30P10, which is crazy that they still use these boards to communicate even in 2025. Zandvoort, Dutch Grand Prix 1962, Jim Clark sitting in the new Lotus 25. And it's just the car, there's no livery, it's just the chassis of the car. They used to wear protective plaster strips to prevent injury from flying stones. Okay, so for my friends that are here in the United States with me, this is the United States Grand Prix in 1964. This looks like it looks like Ferrari. Yeah, it is Ferrari, which is, I don't know if I've ever seen a non-red Ferrari. That is wild to me. I'm gonna have to remember this. Oh, look at this. German Grand Prix 1967. This car looks like it's flying off the road. I love the older cars. I mean, they still have rear wheels that are bigger than the front wheels, but I will say that the older cars, they just look so nostalgic. Same with this front intake. I don't know what that's called, but it's, pre the front wing. It's just so cool. Zandvoort Dutch Grand Prix 1965, Jim Clark in a Lotus 33 Ford at the Tarzan corner. Jim Clark in the same at the Lotus 33 Climax. Look at these goggles. Gosh, this is so cool. Oh wow. Okay, so we have an accident here. This is the Monaco Grand Prix 1967. Graham Hill and the Lotus 33 BRM passes the crash car of Lorenzo Bandini Ferrari 312. Bandini. Okay. I will, maybe I'll do a sample. I don't know. I don't really want to read. Lauren Asher is an author, and she wrote a series called the Dirty Air series. The first book is titled Throttled. The second book is titled Collided. The third one is Wrecked. And the fourth one is Redeemed. And it is a very smutty F1 series. I will say the books do get better as they go on. My favorite book was Wrecked, the third book. But I bring all of this up because one of the team names in the first book, which then carries throughout the series, the team name is Bandini. So that makes a lot of sense where she might have gotten that inspiration from. This photo is so nostalgic to me. I love this. Monaco GP 1968. Zandvoort Dutch Grand Prix 1968. Helen Stewart kisses her husband, Jackie, after his win. Mexico City Grand Prix. Graham Hill and Jackie Stewart. Joe Sifford. These are very interesting to me. I'm not familiar with these. I mean, they look like rear wings, but I'm not familiar with that. And look, you can see the evolution starting of the cars. These little fenders that then develop into more of a wing, which are completely different than what we see today. Yeah, these are wild. They're so tall. Oh my gosh, look at the style. Look at the hair. The hair. Now we're on to the next generation, 1970 to 1979 champions. Like stars. And now you start to see a more resembled vehicle to what we have today. With the front wings, the side pods, the rear wings. Gosh, this is so interesting. I love this so much. This photo is so great. Just so much emotion through the eyes. And you have to remember that these gentlemen were in a much more dangerous, I should say, position than, I don't want to downplay that it's not still extremely dangerous, because any open-wheeled racing, any racing really in general is dangerous. You're moving a vehicle, basically a fighter jet on land. So if anything goes wrong, or if there's any crash, it's dangerous. But there are so many more precautions and safety features nowadays race and rules, regulations that have saved so many lives and really saved so many injuries even. But like, there's no protection in these vehicles. So many people lost their lives. So this, to me, seeing this photo is just like probably before a race. And you just see I don't know, it just seems so innocent and excited and truly passionate about what's about to happen. Even more evolution of the car here. And see, look at this vehicle. Just charred. And then this one, it's not even in this, like, one piece. This is the Spanish Grand Prix in 1970. Bruce McLaren in the McLaren M14A Ford drives between the burning BRMP 153 of Jackie Oliver and Ferrari 312B of Jackie Ickx as marshals work to extinguish the flames. So, look at this McLaren papaya. So McLaren is my favorite team. It's been my favorite team since I was a kid. I do like other teams too, but that's really cool to see a papaya car back in 1970. '73 Monaco Grand Prix. Jackie Stewart leads. Francois Severt. Again, I'm mispronouncing these names terribly. But you can start seeing the branding. Here's Marlboro. Elf. Enzo Ferrari with his drivers Niki Lauda and Clay Regozzini. That's Niki Lauda right there. Look at the difference of the front wings. They're all different. And the intake up here. Even the shape right here, See the difference? This is more of an oval, and this is more of almost like a triangle. Oh wow. Look at this car. It has 2, 4, 6 wheels. That is interesting. I've never seen one of those. Or at least a Formula One car. I didn't know that was that's crazy. Can you imagine if they had 6 wheels today? Oh, Silverstone, British Grand Prix 1975. Ferrari team photo with drivers Niki Lauda and Clay Regozzini. Niki Lauda was injured in a really bad crash. And you can see here it's visible with burns and scars. It was a near fatal crash just 6 weeks before. And he really, a lot of people thought he was done, but he really fought back and he came back 6 weeks later. Gosh, it's so dangerous, right? Especially it used to be. The crash in Monza of 1978. The crash at the start in which Ronnie Peterson lost his life. Oh, Mario Andretti was in this as well. He led Mario Andretti led as the accident takes place behind him. So I'm assuming this is Mario, unless that is, but I think this is Mario. Wow. Yeah, people losing their lives was a very, I don't want to say it was a common thing, but it was definitely more common than it is now, thank goodness, but yeah. Fuji, Japan Grand Prix in 1976, James Hunt in the McLaren M23 Ford kicks up spray as he drives down the main straight. Oh, this is where we're starting to get to be my favorite era of McLaren. Like the MP4s, it's just beautiful. What a cool shot here. Monaco, 1979. And you have to remember, this, 1979, they didn't have technology like we do now. So, this blur, you could edit this photo. You could probably AI this photo. I mean, it wouldn't be as great as this photo is, but you know what I'm saying. You can edit things nowadays. But with the, the shutter speed on this to get this focused and then this blurred, that's some real talent there. All right, let's go through one more decade. The 80s. Astounding duos. Long Beach, the United States Grand Prix, 1980. Gosh, look at the Bridgestone tires. The branding is so cool. Like I said, you can see the shapes of the cars changing every year and getting more and more noticeable to what they are today. And again, look at the Canon branding. Okay, so Las Vegas, Caesars Palace Grand Prix in 1982. Newly crowned world champion Kiki Rosberg, Diana Ross, the singer and the actress, and Michelle Alboreto, winner of the race, celebrate on the podium. Or Michael or Michelle. I'm going to get roasted for not knowing who these people are, but look at Diana Ross. It's interesting because a lot of people do not like the Las Vegas Grand Prix, or they haven't in the past, but it's not necessarily new. I did know that they had the Caesars Palace Grand Prix a long time ago. Oh, this photo of Niki Lauda is very famous. I don't know if it's very famous, but it's definitely noticed, or a very popular photo. It's in Detroit. United States Grand Prix East, 1984. Niki Lauda sits looking out across the river before the race. Niki Lauda, newly crowned world champion in 1984, stands atop of the podium with 3 fingers showing for each title, alongside Alain Probst and Ayrton Senna. Look at Senna, he's such a baby there. You know what's so funny, and this is Ayrton Senna. You know what's so funny is I saw a meme today. It was a meme, or it was just a photo, I guess, and it was showing Kimi Antonelli next to Ayrton Senna, and they just have very similar characteristics. And I think Kimi Antonelli is one I really enjoy. I really enjoy watching him this year, but I think he is going to be one of the greats. Mark my words. Here we go. A McLaren MP4. This vehicle right here is being pushed after running out of fuel on the last lap. This is my favorite F1 car. And then this is another iconic car, the Williams FW11B. It's a Honda vehicle, or Honda engine. Here's another picture of the Williams. And this is the McLaren MP4 3 tag. Followed by the BMW. This is a very famous picture as well. Senna, Probst, Mansell. Oh wow. Pope John II. John Paul II, visits Scuderia Ferrari. If you're an F1 fan, you know this is the very famous Ferrari house that Lewis Hamilton took his photo shoots in front of before this current season, the 2025 season. Here's Senna. Really seeing the dominance of Senna and McLaren here with the MP4. Such a cool car. So I think that's where we're going to end today. We made it all the way to the 90s from the 50s, so we went through 4 decades. Seeing some of the most nostalgic cars, drivers, teams, accidents. Celebrities. Accidents again. We'll go through more of this book again. I really enjoyed flipping through these pages with you. I learned a lot. I'll try to, I don't want to look through this before we go through it together because I feel like that kind of defeats the purpose. I want to be, educated and learn with you. I'm going to say I'm not as, old school F1 fan. I don't know a lot of the history other than, like Michael Schumacher and Ayrton Senna. So I don't know a lot of like the old drivers. So if I'm pronouncing their names again, I apologize. I'll try to like look them up before the next video. But as we progress through time, we're going to get more names and more people that I'm not familiar with. But again, this is F1 Heroes. Please let me know if you like this. I have more Legos to build for you. I have more programs to read for you. There's a lot of things coming, and I'm very grateful and appreciative for all of the activity that you have all given me. It's the messages and the likes and the comments. It really, it's surprising to me. I really enjoy doing this, and I hope you enjoy being here with me. I hope that you're having a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time of day it is. And I hope that you got some tingles and relaxation. Until next time.